Today we're working in chapter 5, lesson 3, compare and order integers. This is the independent practice on 367, page 367. Fill in each circle with less than, greater than, or equal to make a true statement. So if we can think about our number line, we know that the farther to the right we go on the number line, the larger the number is. The farther to the left we go on the number line, the smaller the number is. Let's just make a small number line for reference. Fill in each circle with the correct inequality sign or equal sign. So -2 is what than -4. So if you think of here's our number line. So -2 is farther to the right than -4. So we know that -2 is greater than -4. When both numbers are negative, if you just look at the absolute values, 2 and 4, the smaller absolute value is actually the bigger number because it's farther to the right. Number 2, 1 is what than -3. 1 is greater than -3. So not only is it farther to the right on the number line, but it's positive. And any positive number is going to be bigger than any negative number. Number 3, 5 is what than 0. So 5 is farther to the right on the number line than 0. So we know that 5 is greater than 0. And any positive number will always be greater than 0 and always greater than any negative number. Number 4, Amy is building a house. The basement floor is at -15 feet. Okay, so here's, if you can think of the 0 as ground level, here's -15. The roof of the house is above the ground 25 feet. So there's our 25 feet. Write an inequality to compare the heights. Explain the meaning of the inequality. So if we're just looking at the heights, we're not interested in the, see, we have -15, and then we have 25. So -15 is less than 25. And these would be the roof of the house is at a greater height than the basement floor is deep. So the roof of the house is at +25. The floor of the basement is at -15 feet. I forgot to put feet in here. Okay, so we obviously know any positive number is bigger than any negative number. Sorry, I was off the camera. Any positive number is bigger than any negative number, but we also have the explanation here. The roof of the house is at 25 feet. The floor of the basement is at -15 feet. Number 5. The low temperature in Anchorage, Alaska one day was -9 degrees Fahrenheit. On the same day, the low temperature in Flagstaff, Arizona was 26 degrees Fahrenheit. Write an inequality to compare the temperatures. Explain the meaning of the inequality. So we have -9, and then we have 26. So we know that -9 is less than 26. Okay. And basically we know that it was warmer in Flagstaff. So the temperature, we'll say higher. The temperature was higher in Flagstaff. Number 6, order each set of integers, 6 and 7, order each set of integers from least to greatest. So number 6, all of these integers are positive, so we don't have to worry about signs. We just go from least to greatest. So our smallest is 3. Okay, and the next largest is 6. The next largest is 15. The next largest is 17. And the largest is 21. Okay, number 7, we have some positives and negatives. Okay, so we need to do a little bit more critical thinking. So we have, let's look at our two negatives. We have negative 55 and negative 79. Negative 79 would be farther to the left on the number line. So it's farther away from 0 to the left, which means it's smaller than negative 55. So we have negative 79 and then negative 55. And then obviously for positive numbers, the farther to the right still is larger. So 18 is the smallest positive number. And then 44. And then 101. And then 143. And then just for accuracy check, this was a shorter list of numbers. I'm just going to go ahead and count the, was it? I'm not sure, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers in my problem to order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers in my answer. And then I also checked them off while I was working, and that just makes it a little easier so you know which ones you've already used. You don't have to look at the ones that have a check mark on them because you've already used those. Number 8. The table indicates Xavier's cell phone use over the last 4 months. Positive values indicate the number of minutes he went over his allotted time. Negative values indicate the number of minutes he was under the allotted time. Arrange the months from least to most minutes used. So if the, again, that negative is number of minutes he was under. Okay, so we want the least to most minutes used. So February is the least number of minutes used because he was under, I'm going to focus out a little bit better if I can, because he was under by 156 minutes. Okay, so it's negative 156. So February, and then if you just want to have a way to double check, you can write that negative 156 because he still had 156 minutes left. The answer is the months, but I'm just putting the numbers underneath to prove it. Then the next least number of minutes used was in the month of May. In May, Xavier had 45 minutes left over, so that was the negative 45. Okay, and then April, he was exactly on the number of minutes. He didn't go over or under. So April was 0. And then March, he went over by 12 minutes. And this problem was probably written in the early 2000s when you would have a set number of minutes that you were allowed to use. Now most cell phone plans have unlimited minutes. Number 9. Refer to the table and the following information. The apparent magnitude of an object measures how bright the object appears to the human eye. A negative magnitude identifies a brighter object. So a negative magnitude is brighter than a positive magnitude. Which object appears the brightest to the human eye? So negative magnitude is brighter. So what's the smallest number? The 100-watt bulb is at negative 19. Okay, so see if I can make that a little more focused. Okay, so the 100-watt bulb is at negative 19. Okay. The full moon is at negative 13. The sun is at negative 27, and Venus is at negative 5. So the brightest object is the smallest number. So that's negative 27, which is the sun. So the sun next, order the objects from the brightest to the faintest. So the sun is the brightest at negative 27. Okay, and then the next brightest after the sun is the 100-watt bulb. Okay, the next brightest is the full moon. And then at negative 13. So these were negative 27, negative 19, negative 13 for the full moon, then negative 5 for Venus, 0 for Andromeda Galaxy. I'm just going to abbreviate that AG at 0. And then Alpha Centauri at 4. I'm just going to abbreviate that AC. Okay, so the sun, the 100-watt bulb, the full moon, Andromeda Galaxy, and Alpha Centauri. Letter C, find the least apparent magnitude of this data set. So the least apparent magnitude is the lowest value, which is the sun at -27. Okay, so this is just independent practice comparing and ordering integers. Page 367, independent practice.